Okay, we're taking off now. We're taking off now. We have in attendance one of our panelists, Professor Onyewenyi, Remy Onyewenyi. Prof, you're welcome, sir.
Thank you very much.
All right. He's the Vice Chancellor, Spiritan University, Umunnochi. It's a wonderful university, just kicked off just about a few years ago, but it's already making some waves in the Southeast. And I believe quite a number of people from other parts of the country will begin to attend the school very soon. And Prof is the first Vice Chancellor of the school, the Premier Vice Chancellor, and he has a lot of experiences. He was the DVC Caritas University. That was where I met him, a very soft-spoken man, and a minister of God, and a humble man to the core. Prof, welcome, sir.
Thank you very much.
Yes, we also have in our midst the person we believe will soon be the DVC, the Dean of Faculty of Arts, University of Nigeria, Nsukka. That's Professor Orabueze, Florence Orabueze. He's also here. He's one of the panelists. Prof was my teacher in school. She also supervised my master's degree. And I happen to be the first master's student she supervised. She has been a very wonderful woman and someone who understands, who has the mind and the heart of the Southeast. She has always stood out to defend anything that has to do with the Igbos, especially regarding education. Prof, you're welcome, ma. Prof, can you hear us? We see that you're already logged in. Can you hear us, Prof? Okay.
She's muted. Yeah.
Okay, let me.
I can hear you. Can you hear me?
Okay. Yes. Yes. Okay.
Okay.
Yes. All right.
I said thank you, God's will.
Thank you,
and welcome other panelists and our viewers.
All right. Thank you, ma. We also have some other panelists. We have about 5 of them, including we have Mr. Osita Chidoka. He's yet to join. In fact, early this morning around 1 a.m. we spoke, and he said he's going to join in immediately, but he's not in the country, but he's going to join in from wherever he is. So we also have Professor Philip Omoke. Professor Philip Omoke is the current Deputy Vice Chancellor, Alex Ekwueme Federal University. He's a Deputy Vice Chancellor admin. He's a research personality to the core. He's yet to join us. When he joins us, he's one of the panelists. He actually is part of the moderators. He and Mr. Osita Chidoka are supposed to moderate this program, but I believe maybe the network is still giving them some problem for them to join. But as soon as they join us, they will take up from wherever they meet. So we also have Dr. Kelechi Enyinaugu. Dr. Kelechi Enyinaugu. Dr. Kelechi Enyinaugu is a lecturer at Federal University of Technology, Owerri, Futo, and he teaches human resource. And today he will be telling us the connection between studies and entrepreneurship, and how we can actually rejig the entrepreneurship aspect of our studies in school. Quite a number of people just go to school and graduate and looking for where to be employed, but we should be employable. Our graduates should be employable. So he's going to talk about it today. And of course, Prof Professor Remy will be telling us the need for education in the Southeast to embrace modern technology to be able to survive current realities. You know, what is happening now, without technology, you know, education would have been shut down completely. But we believe with technology, a lot of things are going to take place. In fact, in the US, I heard they're about to send back our students, you know, foreign students, they want to, including Nigerians, because all the schools are going online. All the schools are going online. So all our foreign students studying in the US are about to be sent home, because since it's online, you can study even from your village. So that's where we find ourselves today. And then we have another person, Reverend Father Dennis C. Abo. Actually, when we contacted the minister, the commissioner for education in Enugu State, he told us this particular man understands what the policies, you know, how to set policies for education. So we'll be looking at, he'll tell us a lot of things about possible policies government can put in place to improve education in the Southeast. You know, this has to do with a lot of things we're discussing today. We'll be touching policies. So we'd like to hear him tell us what policies we're going to bring in to help us handle some things. Professor Moke, you're welcome, sir. Prof. Professor Moke, you're welcome, sir.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much.
All right, sir. All right. Professor Moke is one of the panelists. Is actually the people, one of the people that are going to anchor this program. Going to be handling some questions. So when he begins to send out some questions, I believe our panelists are up to the task. Thank you, sir, Prof. So we'll allow you to moderate this program, sir, you know, and help us direct this conversation. Thank you, sir. So Dr. Kelechi, another panelist, is also here. Dr. Kelechi, please, you're welcome, sir.
Yes, thank you.
All right. So, okay. Thank you. So we have, okay, I think, okay, Mr. Chidoka has joined us. Honorable sir, you're welcome.
Yeah, I've been with you for a while. I've been watching you since 12.
So sorry, so sorry, so sorry. I didn't see the addition on time to yes. Open the link. Welcome, Prof. Welcome, Prof. So Prof will be setting up. There are some questions he's going to put through, so we can set the tone for this conversation before Professor Moke can begin to send out some things. But then, Prof, Honorable sir, please,
yes,
ask the questions. You know, put up those questions before we bring in our first, before Professor Omoke can take it up and call in the panelists, you know, to begin with the conversation. Thank you, sir.
Thank you very much.
Thank you, sir.
I don't know, is it, okay, maybe I will not be able to share my screen, but hold on a minute. I wanted to be able to see if I can share my screen. Is it possible?
Yeah, why not? Why not? You can.
Okay.
I don't know how.
Okay.
My friend. The question I'm going to ask.
Let me see. So, what do I do to share this screen? Okay. So let me log in from my computer so that you can see it well. I just want to share this screen. So thank you very much for this opportunity, and I'm happy that meeting ID is 920 7574. Okay. Meeting password is 11234. Okay, so if you see me twice, that's my. Okay.
Couple of copies.
Okay. Yes. Can you see the button for sharing of screen? Can you see the button? Honorable, I hope you can see the button for sharing of screen. It's there. Hello, sir. Are you still here?
Can you hear me?
Okay.
Yes.
Okay, good. Okay, good. Excellent.
Okay.
Okay. My first point is that this presentation is about education, and I will narrow it down to the Southeast. Audio settings. I will narrow it down to the Southeast, and my first point is that education in the Southeast is what I will call is symptomatic of the general problem of the Southeast. And the first thing I want to say, and as a point, I want to make about 4 key points before I yield the floor, is that the challenge of the Southeast is that Igbos are successful, but Igbo land is not successful. So Igbos are successful. If you look at the figures arising from Igbos across the world, across Nigeria, Igbos are doing very well in all aspects of Nigeria, in all aspects of our life, both in the economy, both in science, in arts, in mathematics, in sports. Igbos are doing very well. But how many of those Igbos live in Igbo land is a distinction that we have to constantly make to understand the nature of Igbos and Igbo land. And I'm drawing that distinction because many people, after my post on the JAMB exams, many people came on me and said, oh no, she's Igbo. I said, yes, she's Igbo, the person is Igbo, but there's a problem. The Igbos that live in Igbo land and Igbos that live in the diaspora, both local and international, we have to make that distinction to make sure that everybody is being carried along in the growth, that the growth is inclusive. So infrastructure is very weak in the Southeast. Governance infrastructure is almost primitive. And let me explain that. If you look at the whole of Igbo land, from the 1990s to date, there has been no 1 square kilometer of land area that has gotten pipe-borne water. The government has not built any water works that has been expanded to any land area in the Southeast. So if you look at Awka, Awka has been a capital since Awka was created. Until date, in 1996, there is no place in Awka where you will open a tap and the water is running. If you go to Enugu, as you live Independence Layout, GRA, and all that, the old colonial area that the colonial masters laid pipes, there is no pipe-borne water as you head towards Abali Road and head towards Ebony. And there are great massive developments going on. 4-story buildings are piling up any day. Don't to talk of Onitsha, the waterworks in Onitsha has caved in. There is no 1 square kilometer of land in Igbo land that has central sewer system. So most of our sewage that we take away with soak-away pits end up being pumped into the River Niger in the case of Onitsha, or being pumped into some landfill in the case of Enugu or Aba or Onitsha. So there is no place in Enugu in the east where we have a treatment plant for liquid waste and a treatment plant for solid waste. So I hold the view that infrastructure and the governance model is quite primitive. Industrial growth has weakened. So even if you produce graduates and people who studied courses, there is no private sector, thriving private sector. The country's triangle, when I was aviation minister, we used to call it the triangle. Flights take off from Lagos, they go to Abuja, then they go to Port Harcourt. If you look at all the 6 a.m. flights from Lagos, it is Abuja and Port Harcourt. Then after that, you now see the Enugu and the Kanu flights, because the golden triangle of Nigeria is Port Harcourt, Lagos, and Abuja. So those are the centers dragging everybody out for employment. So if you study today and you have a first class, you're either going to end up in a bank or you're going to end up in any business that is based in Lagos or Abuja. So economic growth is slow and we lack coordinated regional planning. But if you look at, one of the stories I say is that the tallest building in Enugu was built on April 30th, 1959. It is called the ACB Towers, the ACB complex, office complex. At that time, Zeke dreamt of an African continental bank. His dreams were continental, and he built the ACB house. Interestingly, one of the tallest buildings, of the 10 tallest buildings in Lagos, one of them is owned by an Anambra man, Nestor Hill, in Lagos. So his house is number 9 in the 10 tallest buildings in Lagos. Meanwhile, the tallest building in the south, in Enugu, is basically ACB house. And I don't know if there's any other building taller than it in the southeast. I mean, when you see people building high rises, it means that land has become very expensive people can no longer waste it with low rises. So an indicator of economic growth can become a house. But we're doing well in education. Our population is not doing badly. 40% of those, we top the WAEC and JAM, but less than 40% of our people get admitted in JAM. So on the good side, the Southeast has one of the lowest incidence of poverty in Nigeria. We have a very low maternal mortality rate, and we have higher access to healthcare and education. We're very Republican, we're very acephalous. Gerontocrats, the white man described us as acephalous. So now, the question that I normally will ask is, where do we go from here vis-a-vis education? If you look at education in the Southeast, I attended Bayes University in Abuja, which is a private university, and I studied law. I just completed my last semester this last semester. Bayes University is charging 2.5 million naira per annum for law. The majority of the students in Bayes University, in the law faculty where I attended, were children of Southeasterners. All our major lawyers, all our big businessmen have their children at Bayes University paying 2.5 million. We have Professor Ernesto Ojukwu there, the former Deputy DG Law School. We have Professor Tahiru, the former DG Law School, as the Dean. Now, my point is, there is no university in the Southeast that can charge 1 million naira today and you will get people to attend. What is the problem? Why is it that we have all people live in Enugu and come to Abuja and pay 2.5 million in a school and are unwilling to pay 600,000 in a school in 300,000 in a school in the Southeast, private university? Why do they go to Covenant University and they refuse to pay 300,000 naira to go to a Caritas University or a Madonna University? The question is the poor infrastructure, the poor manpower you will attract in the Southeast, and the underlying faulty system. When I made that post on Facebook, 90% of the reaction to my post was that they will never attend the school in the Southeast. And this is not an indictment of our school owners and professors. Students made 3 major claims on that post. Number one, that the infrastructure in the Southeast schools are primitive, extortionist. Our landlords in the Southeast will extort money from students at high rates. So the cost of schooling in the Southeast for them is prohibitive without commensurate returns in terms of quality of infrastructure. Secondly, they feel that our professors and our lecturers in the Southeast are almost inhuman in the way they treat the students, in the way they make it almost a pride of place to fail students and to say that you cannot get an A in my class. And then thirdly, they believe there is massive corruption in the school system in terms of sorting and collecting money from them. So this is the reaction I got from my page, from those who went to school. The University of Nigeria was not like this when I was a student there. But I understand the plight of the young students, because when I look at the primary school system in the Southeast, if you look at the MBS data, the Southeast primary schools are not growing year on year. Most of the primary schools, Enugu State, Anambra State, have been reporting the same number of primary schools for over the last 10 years. I haven't seen any growth in new primary schools and new secondary schools in the Southeast. Secondly, teachers have lost their relevance in the Southeast. The government of the Southeast have treated teachers as irritants. They pay them salaries when they feel like, and once there is only no salary payment, teachers are the first to suffer no salary payment. So we have made the teachers to lose the respect that they will have ordinarily in an education system. And then finally, I think that our whole investment, our whole education supervisory infrastructure in the Southeast has turned also into another corruption cesspool. When I was running for election in Anambra, I interviewed many private schools in Anambra, and many of them said that the school supervisors don't come, you send for them. And when they come, you get their envelope ready, and you get the food they will eat there ready. Once they finish the supervision, you give them their envelope, one for their boss in the office and for those that came, and they will mark your school as having passed the supervision. So education supervision has been very weak. And meanwhile, we have the good manpower in every community. I'm sure we have retired professors, retired lecturers of good quality who can make education worthwhile. I don't know if you guys are seeing me, but are you hearing me?
Yes,
Hello?
we can hear you. We can hear you.
Okay,
We can hear
very
you.
good. So education in the Southeast is very, very weak in my view. So as we disaggregate the data of education, let it not be that those who make us the high scores from the high scores we are getting in JAMB and WAEC are those in our urban schools and those in our rural schools. I want to know, how are schools in Ezago compared to schools in compared to schools in Umahia? How are schools in Abakaliki compared to schools in Eza? We need to understand where our weaknesses lies. For education to be successful, it has to be inclusive, it has to be equitable, and it has to increase access. It has to be a launch pad out of poverty, out of making sure that our people grow. And for the Southeast to become successful, we need to stop benchmarking ourselves with Nigeria. We need to benchmark ourselves with the world. That is why I think that it is still unthinkable that no Southeast state has thought about it to join the International Program for Student Assessment, the IPSA. And I believe that if one of the things we get out of this conversation is a refocusing of our education supervisory system to provide data on the number of students in our public schools in the rural and the urban places, the number of students who pass WAEC, where they come from, those who made high scores, where are they coming from, and what interventions we should make in the years to come to make sure that our education is equitable and is leading our people out of poverty. So these are some of my preliminary thoughts, and I pray that with all the quality people I see here on the screen, we should be able to figure out practical steps, and we can produce a white paper out of it, of what can be done around the Southeast to promote quality, inclusive, and equitable educational system. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Prof. Thank you, sir. Thank you, Honorable. Okay, we're going to bring in Professor Moke, okay, to add up to this before we go to our first speaker, Professor Onyewenyi. Professor Moke, sir, can you, okay. Hello, sir. We're trying to unmute you because we had to mute everyone when we discovered the thing was echoing.
Yes.
Okay, Professor Moke, can you, are you here, sir? Oh. Okay, we're trying to unmute you, but it seems, can you unmute yourself? Because we made you to control your part. Okay. Okay.
Okay. Are you hearing me?
Yeah. All right, sir. All right, sir.
Yes. Thank you for the wonderful opportunity of being part of this discussion.
Okay.
Chidoka said it all.
Okay.
In fact, from immense research, he has been able to come up with the problem of education in the Southeast. I'm happy I'm seeing Professor Onyewenyi of, I think he's still the Vice Chancellor of Spiritan University.
Yes, yes, he is.
Yes, yes. I came to your office last year to invite you to the meeting of all the Southeast Vice Chancellors. And the purpose of that meeting was to discuss how to move tertiary education in the Southeast forward. We discovered that what Chidoka has said is really a problem in the Southeast, and we've come together to see how we can proffer solutions to this problem. We are really, education in the Southeast is really in the traditional mode, in the traditional stage, and no concerted effort is being made to move it forward. Yes, like I said, the highest person in JAMB scored 365. He's from Anambra. His parents live in Lagos, and his schools in Ogun State. And that poses a challenge. The question is, assuming if he stays in Enugu, Umuahia, Abia, Owerri, or Abakaliki, can he make that score? And the answer is no, because the infrastructure, the teachers, the resources to make him have that high score is totally not available in the Southeast. It's totally not available in the Southeast. So I joined my voice in my belief that at the end of this little program, we should be able to have something that we can put across to our various governors to see how we can top up our education to come to the level of the best practice. I was a lecturer in Covenant University for 2-3 years. And when I came to Spiritan University, I was marveled at the resources available at that university. But the location is the problem. Omunochi gave it a very wonderful and a very serene environment. But how do you attract students when there is no economic base in Omunochi that will come? Like he said, in Covenant University, 60% of the student population are from the Southeast. But all the private universities in the Southeast, the total students you can find in all the private universities in the Southeast is not equal to what you get in Covenant University. You go to Evangel University, the student population is 120, 150. You go to Renaissance University, the total population of students is 100. You go to so on and so forth. The students are not there because the economic base is not there. Something that will bring students to attend these schools are simply not there. And that poses a challenge. So like Chidoka said, the triangular movement, Lagos, Abuja, Port Harcourt. And that is where everybody is moving to. You graduate from the Southeast, you go to Lagos and look for employment, or you go to Abuja, or probably you go to Port Harcourt. Nobody stays in the Southeast. So these schools are left unattended. And we're all heading towards the West or the North. Nobody is coming to the East for anything. There's no employment opportunities. Unless you're a trader, you come to buy and sell. There's nothing anybody can actually do in the Southeast that will make him stay in the Southeast and earn a living and allow the children to attend these wonderful schools that you find in the Southeast. That's my contribution for now, sir. Thank you.
Thank you, Prof. Thank you, Prof. Okay, we'll bring in Professor Onyewenyi to add his voice to the discussion. Prof, sir.
Good afternoon, everybody.
Yeah.
First of all, I want to thank the Bold Scholars group for organizing this webinar, and in a special way to Chief Chidioka for the inputs I've made so far in the development of the Southeast. As my fellow panelists have already mentioned, Chief Chidioka has itemized most of the major challenges that are facing us here in the Southeast. But these challenges are not insurmountable as far as I'm concerned. For me, once there's will, there is always a way. Let's look first of all of the, to add to the statistics that Dr. Chief Chidioka has already